Hey everybody, Lars here. It is Friday night, as promised, from the luxurious dining room here in the friendly confines of Sorensen Abode in Hickory Street, Metuchen, New Jersey. We are going to run through my very own homework assignment. Because I don't want to give you this homework assignment and have you go, huh, what? Because it's a big assignment. And it seems daunting when you first get it, but it's not. It's really kind of simple. And we're going to do something very similar right now and go through some things. It shouldn't take that long, but we will find that out. I'm starting from scratch. You're starting from scratch, right, when you do your homework, so I'm going to start from scratch too. Nothing prepared, nothing going on. What I'm going to do for my homework assignment, and my homework assignment is actually going to be longer than yours because I'm going to go rustle up my own materials right now. But basically what my homework assignment is going to be is to take 5,000 random numbers and examine them and determine which ones are palindromes. Palindrome, if you do not know, is something that reads the same forwards as it does backwards. So we're going to be doing numbers. So if you get something like 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, and on the way back it's 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, well, that's a palindrome. Same reads forwards, same as it reads backwards. Okay? So we're going to do a couple of different things, but the first thing we're going to have to do is, where in the name of heaven am I going to get 5,000 random numbers? Let's go. See, somebody was looking for a movie to watch. We are going to Google, and I know where I'm going, but random numbers? Yeah, I guess random numbers. And if you do random numbers, you get the Google thing, which will give you a random number, but where I really want to go is random.org. Random.org is your friend. It is the place you go for the random numbers. Go up to numbers, go to integers, and what I'm going to say is that I want to generate, should I do 5,000? Usually I do 1,000, I think. Let's do 1,000. 1,000 random integers between 1 and 10,000, so most of the time I'll get 4 digits, and I'm going to format it in 10 different columns, and then I say, get the numbers. Look at that, random numbers. Love random numbers. Already know I'm okay because single digit's going to be a palindrome. Yeah, and I see a 3. Take these random numbers, highlight them, go all the way down to the bottom. Just grab that last 8 there, and I'm going to copy it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it into Notepad. And then, have I set up a directory for this? I have not. You are really seeing things from scratch because I'm unprepared. Let's see. Python Data Science. Fall 2017. I will create a new folder. I will call this the palindromes. And I will go there and I will call this file rnums.txt. So now we have rnums.txt. Let's go take a look. Still sitting there from the video I shot this afternoon that you got, the Unit 3.3 video. Let's see. Let's see. Not really in a hurry. There we go. rnums. Double click it and you see we got our random numbers right there. Okay, so we got some data. We are looking pretty good. Now, what's the next thing I want to do? I am going to fire up Python. There we go. I got an interactive window, and I am going to create a new file. And I'm going to call this new file I don't want Python 36. Why this doesn't go to the same? Python Data Science 2000 palindromes tools.py. And that's what I'm going to name it because eventually it's going to be a library. All right. I'll leave some comments because even though it's a library, you still want to comment your code. I'll just say this is a library for palindromes. And what do we want to do now? We are going to write a function that examines a string and tells me whether it's a palindrome or not. So I'll do def because I want to start a function. And I will call my function isPal, and I'll accept a variable called ppal. And what do I want to do with ppal? I want to see if it is the same forward as it is backwards. So in Python, I can do a neat little trick. How about doing this? Seeing as you have an if. All right, what am I doing right there? You see what I did? I said if ppal is equivalent, 2 in a row, equivalency, to ppal, but look what I do with the slicing. I go colon, colon, beginning to end, but I go backwards. Okay? So when you print that or you regard that, it's the string backwards. What's the definition of a palindrome? Something that's the same forward as it is backwards. So if I have a palindrome, that'll be true. So I will return true. Oh, I did go the right place. Else, and this is truly a binary condition, I will return false. Hey, guess what? We're already done with our function. All right? Now, I know it's right here in a library, but I'm going to test it. I'm going to say is pal 112211. That should be true. When I print it, it says true. All right, let's test it some more. I'm going to put a 3 in the middle. That should also be true. Yee-hee! Yup. Out of balance. And it is out of balance. It's going to be false. Okay, yeah, and then if I just throw random stuff in there, it's false. It's not a palindrome. All right, let's go. Well, let's go do the obvious stuff. Does it do alphanumerics? It does. True. Race car? Another popular palindrome. That's true. But if I throw something in the middle there, it's no longer true. All right, I think we're in good shape. I think our ppal works. So, it's a library. I want to get rid of that. I am going to do one little thing, though. Give it the same name I did in the other videos. I'll create a variable. I'll call it Carter. I'll assign it the value 8. And as I always say, if you're a Met fan, you know what I'm talking about. All right, and then I'm going to save that. Boom. All right, so there's my library. I got a little library. It's called tools.py. It's got a function in it called isPal. isPal takes a string and returns true. If that string is a palindrome, it returns false if it doesn't. Goodbye. All right, time to get me a main program. New code. All right, I'm going to call this main prog for palindromes. Plaindromes. Palindromes. Should have just changed it instead of deleting it all. Now I'm going to save it. Ooh, that's brutal. I should have done something different. All right. Going to make me go all the way back. That's okay. So now I see tools. Now I'll just call this main prog. And I'll run it. So I have a file full of random numbers, 1,000 of them. I have a library with a function that tells me if something's a palindrome or not. So what do I want to do? I want to examine those 5,000 random numbers and see which ones are palindromes and count them up. Okay? All right. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? First thing I'm going to do is wrangle my data. Do the file I/O. All right. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? F, I know it's not very descriptive, equals open rnums.text. I'm going to open for reading. So that is going to do that. Then I'm going to say data is equivalent to f dot read, and I'm going to throw it all in a string. And then because I'm a good file citizen, I am going to close my file. Print data just to see if I have it real quick. And that fast, look at that. All my data came along for the ride. So that fast in one string, I have all my data. So I, in one fell swoop, am done with my file I/O. So what do I need to do next? I need to clean the data. So how am I gonna, well, I don't want that there, so I won't use it. How am I gonna clean the data? And this is the part, save that, where I come over here and I ask you to look at the data with me. All right? Because we're computer programmers. We are not regular folk hanging out down on the corner buying scratch-offs. All right? We don't see number space, number space, number space, number space, blah, blah, blah. We see number, tab, number, tab, number, tab, all the way to the end. And you know what I see right there? I see a new line. I see a \n. So I see \t, 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 \n over here. Okay? That's what's separating our numbers out. That's what's making them do what they're doing right there. Okay? I got a number, then I got a \t. Number, \t. So how can I use that to my advantage right now? Because what I want to do is I want to take all these numbers, which right now reside in one little string called data. I want to get these numbers into a list individually. So how in the name of heaven am I going to go about doing that? I'm going to assign to data the results of a replace. Well, what am I going to replace with what? What I eventually want to do is I eventually want to run a split method on this thing so that I can split by a delimiter. Now, in our last video, when we had the comma-separated values, we used the comma because that was the perfect thing. It was in between all our data points. So I used the comma to split. What's in between all our data points here? There's that pregnant pause again. Tabs. I got tabs in between all of my data, except at the end of the line after the 10th item, 20th item, 30th item, I got new lines. Okay? Kind of messes me up because if I did a split by the tabs, I'd be fine until I got here. Then I'd get 6041, new line, 5466 before I hit another tab. So I can't do that. But what if I replace all my \n's with \t's? What would happen then? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you what will happen then. We got rid of all the new lines. Okay? See, in the past, there was a new line, started at 1, 2, 3, 10, new line, 10, new line. I got rid of all the new lines. All right? This would stretch as far as my screen will go. Because all it is number, tab, number, tab, number, tab, number, tab, all the way down the line. All right? The only thing that's messing us up here is the way idle displays the file. That's what's putting things in rows and columns for us now. It would go right across the screen if it could. So, what do I have? I've got all those numbers separated by just one thing. That means I can do a split. And I'm going to split by the tabs. So then when I split, what does split do? It splits all those items up by the delimiter, here the tab, and it puts them in a list. So now data is going to be a list. So now if I rerun, I get a list. If I come up here to the beginning of the list, I see my bracket, and then single quotes, strings, all those numbers are separate now. See the end of the list. All right? So now I've got my numbers in a list. So because I have them in a list, I'm in Fat City. Iterate over the list looking for palindromes. Okay? So now I can look for palindromes, but can I? I can't yet because I need to use my palindrome code. But it's not here. We'll be in a second though. Always do the imports on the top. You should define your functions on the top too. And that's just an old thing we used to do. I mean, in C or Python, you need to read it into memory before you can use it. So those functions need to appear before you use them. It's a good convention to always do them at the top of your files. You're going to see soon that you don't have to do that because you're going to have everything pretty much in libraries. But if you do use a function in the same file as, if you do have a function in the same file as you're using it, just make sure the function is defined at the top. Okay, because it needs to be written to memory before it can be accessed. I digress. Import tools.py. I don't need the py. Tools. I don't know if the py would hurt. Import tools. Now, I have that tool to use. So what am I going to do? I'm going to iterate over my list. I'm going to say for I in data Don't need range. I got a list to go over. Okay? I'm going to say if tools.ppal, now I call it isPal, of I equals true, then just right now I'm going to print it. Print I. Okay? So, what's happening here? I run my program. I import tools, which is just my one function. And then I do the file I/O. I open up the file. File handle is F. I run a method on F called read, which takes everything in the file and puts it in a string. Okay? A sequential string. It's a sequence. That's all it is. And then I close the file. So I'm good. That's all done. I now have a string with all my stuff in it. Now I clean the data. I do a replace, and I make those end of lines into tabs. So now with tabs being the only thing that splits everything, I can use it as a delimiter, and I now have a list. Because I have a list, I can now iterate over that list. So I iterate over the list, and I use my palindrome tool, and when it's true, I just print it, okay? In a second, we'll throw it in a file, but let's see what we get. Oh, we got a lot of them. Let's see. 3, remember I told you it was going to be because, you know, it's a palindrome. 626, 6996, 171, everything I'm seeing here. 5005, 818, 9, there's another single digit. These are all palindromes. I think I'm in pretty good shape, okay? But this isn't really what I want to do. I want to count them. So I could eyeball them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it the right way. All right, well, there's 2 different ways to do it, as we know now. I'll do it the old-fashioned way first. I'll do C, but we've been through that in the other video. Plus equals 1 is going to be a counter for me. I'm going to count things, and then when I'm going to jump out, I'm going to say print. There were, comma, C, comma, begin, palindromes. So now when I get to the bottom of the list, it says there were 19 palindromes. Oh, my OCD will not permit that. So there we go. There were 19 palindromes. All right. Another way we could do it, of course, is we're going to create a list called the pals. We'll make it blank. And then here, instead of clicking a counter, we'll just say the pals.append I. And then down here, instead of C, we will say len the pals. And that'll tell us how many there are. So, is that it? The pals, the pals, the pals. There were 19 palindromes. Same thing. So that's a little bit more Pythonic. Okay? So, got my output there. Got my program there. Here's my library. Make my library a little thin guy right there. Okay? And that's it. Boom, we did it. Not a whole lot of code. Okay? I had 5,000. Where are they? Might as well show them too. Make sure they're part of the party. All right, here's my data. All right, I got 1,000 random numbers. And what did I do? I wrote a function that determines if a string is a palindrome or not. And then I wrote a little bit of code right there. Let me go get this guy back so he can go over. And I opened up my file and I read in all the numbers. And then I cleaned the data and I got all those numbers in a list so I could use it. And then I iterate over the list. So as I iterate over the list, I determine what's a palindrome. And if it is, I just add it to this list. And at the end, I grab the length of the list and I know how many palindromes there were. In this particular case, 19 of them. Boom. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, just for S&G, and to prove a point, because you might see something like this when you get to your homework assignment, I'm going to print tools.carter. When I run that, it's going to do that. There were 9 palindromes, then it says 8. Look at that code. You see an 8 anywhere? No, because it got read from the library. Okay? Here is where, in libraries, is usually where we define constants. You'll see if you ever play around with the math library, pi is a constant, e is a constant. They're defined in the math library for you to use. Okay? That way you don't go changing them, you don't go playing around with them. You read them because they're constants. They always stay the same. So, if I tell you to define a constant variable in a library, that's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about right there. Okay? So that's my little homework assignment. Didn't take that long. I'm guessing, let's see, 20 minutes. 20 minutes to do that. This is, and you're going to find this out over the weekend, very, 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 very similar to what you're going to get. You're going to get, your first assignment is to create a function that detects what are called Harshad numbers. And Harshad numbers are numbers where if you add up all the digits in them, if the resulting sum divides evenly into the number, you have a Harshad number. All right. The example I usually use is 27. All right. 2 and 7 equal 9. Does 9 divide evenly into 27? Yes. It's a Harshad number. Same with 1 and 8. Same with 3 and 6. All right. Those are Harshad numbers. They get longer. They get more difficult. It's good little number theory kind of thing to look at. All right. So that's it. I am not going to put this online, but you're looking at it right now. So if you want to code it up, go ahead and code it up. My God, all the code we did is right here in front, right here on this screen. So if you want to go look at it, go ahead and go look at it. It's not a problem. Okay. As far as announcements are concerned, I am going to do some announcements right now because this is the 4th Unit 3 video, so it's going to be the last one. And basically the announcements are easy. It's going into the weekend of the 14th. You have about 10 more days, 11 more days with this unit. I think it ends on the 25th of October. I think that's a Thursday. So you still have time, but don't procrastinate. I wanted to get you all these resources within the first week. Maybe it's a 3-week unit, so 8-9 days would have been fine. But I know today is the 1 week that you've had this unit, so you have your slides to read. You have all of these videos, and I know I'm throwing in the extra Unit 2 videos. But I want to make sure you have all of these Unit 3 videos. The next 2 videos are good to see, and they're interesting, but they're not really pertinent to Unit 3. I'm going to get you the review of the quiz for Unit 2. I'm going to get you that video. I'm going to get you the video where I rewrite Euler 6 so that we use functions with it, okay? I may do those over this weekend at HackRU, all right? So you get them to see. But the 4 that you got for Unit 3, okay? Functions, file I/O, libraries and modules, and now this, your little sample homework problem, those are the ones you need to concentrate on as far as getting the assignment done and the Unit 3 quiz. All right? Just 2 things to be weary about. Very soon, I think in 4 or 5 days, I'm going to lock up groups. So if you want to work with somebody, you better let me know soon, because on the 17th or the 18th, I'm just going to make groups up and send you, who your partners are. So if you want to avoid that, if there's somebody you want to work with, get organized now and send me an email. The other thing I'm going to tell you, and again, I know it's only the 13th of October, but time will fly, and it will be November 6th before you know it, and that is when the midterm is due. Start engaging with those resources. The Harvard video, Learn Python the Hard Way, Code Academy. Engage with those resources. Jot down some notes. All you got to do while you're doing it is take notes in Microsoft Word. And then at the end, you'll probably have written enough that you could just edit it and boom, your paper's done. All right? So be wary of those things, okay? Boys or HackRU's coming up and they get excited and they have stuff to do and blah, blah, blah. But today I sent an email to Kasim and Hans and told them that by the end of the weekend they had better have graded all of the quizzes and the assignments. So early next week I hope to be sending you grades. All right? All right. Then I'm going to get out of here. What is it? It's 10:40. I don't think I'm going to do the grade email later on the grade video later on tonight. Grade video? I meant the quiz video. I don't think I'm going to do it later on tonight. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow because I don't think the boys graded it yet, and I really do want to look at it and see what's going on before I do the video. Probably makes sense, right? All right. So I'm going to wait on that, I think, and do it over the weekend while I'm at HackRU, and I'm going to do some other stuff then too. All right? But I'm feeling good because now you have all your Unit 3 stuff. All right? All right, good. Then I'm getting out of here. You have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.